Gaslighting is an English word and a form of manipulation that has become all too common in our today's world. It subtly distorts someone's perception of reality, leaving them confused, doubting themselves, and often feeling emotionally drained. Recently, I found myself experiencing this unsettling behavior firsthand. It all started when I reached out to a dear brother in the Lord who was going through a tough financial time while also expecting a child with his wife. Having walked a similar path, I understood the challenges they faced, and with compassion, I extended my support through prayers and financial giving, hoping to bring encouragement and comfort to them. I formed the habit of following up with them. Well, to cut long story short, I received text message from the brother's wife informing me that she was in labor and in the hospital. I called immediately, reassured her with words of faith, praying for her and reminding her that God will not let her down. Finally, a day after she gave birth, and to my surprise, I had no idea the baby had been born until I called to check up on them. As we spoke on the phone, she seemed surprised and said, "Didn't my husband tell you?" She had assumed that he had already shared the good news with me. At first, I was taken aback, confused if I was told or I forgot at least to congratulate them. Unfortunately, he hadn't told me, and I was left feeling disconnected, out of the loop. She apologized and promised to talk to him about it, but I was more focused on the fact that both mother and baby were healthy and home safely. Thanks be to God's grace for safe delivery. Amen. The next day, her husband called, claiming he had tried reaching me, but I hadn't picked up his calls. He insisted that he had told me about the baby's birth during our last conversation, implying that I was already aware. This was simply not true. When I tried to clarify, he insisted, suggesting that since I knew his wife was in the hospital for admission, I must have known she had delivered. His insistence on twisting the fact left me feeling bewildered and frustrated, as if my genuine care had been represented. This experience made me realize how easily gaslighting can arise, even in situations where there is no ill intent, just genuine concern. Is a reminder of how subtle and damaging this form of manipulation can be, and how important it is to recognize it when it occurs. You are on to Sokipele YouTube channel, your gateway to life illumination. If you find the insights shared here valuable, please give us a thumbs up. And if this is your first time visiting, I would love for you to support us by subscribing to the channel. Subscribing not only motivates me to keep creating impactful content like this, but it also ensures you won't miss out on similar videos in the future. Beloved, do you know that gaslighting can make you question your perceptions and intentions? It is a subtle yet powerful form of manipulation that can distort the nature of any relationship. So, how can one guard against such tendencies, you may ask? It is essential to take proactive steps that protect our mental clarity and emotional health. Number 1, document conversations. Make it a habit to document important conversations, especially when sensitive information is involved. Text messages, emails, or even brief notes on discussions can serve as a helpful references in case details are twisted or forgotten. Number 2, trust your instinct. If something doesn't feel right in a discussion, don't ignore it. Gaslighting can make you question yourself. But if you feel manipulated or confused, trust your instinct and examine the situation carefully. Number 3, seek clarity Address inconsistencies as soon as they arise. If someone's words doesn't match their actions or contradict earlier statements, gently seek clarification to avoid misunderstanding. Number 4, rely on a trusted support system. Discuss confusing situations with trusted friends or family members who can offer an objective perspective. They can help validate your feelings and perceptions, giving you strength to stand firm. Number 5, stay calm and collected. Gaslighting often works by making people emotional. Staying calm helps you respond thoughtfully and avoid becoming overly reactive, which is important in maintaining clear communication. Here are 6 biblical examples of gaslighting and how they mirror today's manipulative scenarios in life, families, friendship, marriage, and the workplace. Number 1 on the list is the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Genesis chapter 3. In the book of Genesis, the Bible tells us that the serpent manipulated Eve into questioning God's command, leading her to make a devastating choice that altered humanity's course. This story reveals the insidious power of doubt and deception, a tactic that manipulators continue to use even today. How this relates to today's world. Just as the serpent sowed doubt in Eve's heart, manipulators today often chip away at a person's value and beliefs, causing them to second-guess their principles. For example, a friend might subtly undermine your goals or self-worth, framing their comments as concern while steering you towards poor choices. This can happen in workplaces too, where colleagues or supervisors distort facts or imply someone's incompetence, subtly eroding confidence and creating self-doubt. These self-manipulations can have a profound effect, influencing choices and perspectives just as powerfully as the serpent's word in Eden. How to guard against gaslighting? To protect yourself, remember to hold fast to your values and trust your instincts. Seek clarity when conversations or interactions feel off, and rely on a trusted support system that can provide perspective and affirmation when doubts creep in. In doing so, you can stand firm against manipulative tactics that seek to undermine your confidence and integrity. Number 2, Jacob and Laban. Genesis chapter 29 to chapter 31. In this passage of scripture, we see Laban repeatedly manipulate Jacob, changing agreements and making false promises to keep him under control. Despite Jacob's dedication and hard work, Laban's deceptive tactics leave him bound to unfair terms and constant frustration. How does this mirror in our contemporary time, you may ask? Sadly, this type of manipulation still exists, often close to home or in trusted relationships. In family settings, for example, a relative might withhold key information or alter plans to suit their own needs, only to shift the blame onto others. The result, if you would like to know, confusion and self-doubt for those affected. In many marriages, this can appear as spouses keeping their partner off balance by shifting expectations, making them feel like they are never enough and questioning if they are meeting the relationship needs. These tactics can be incredibly damaging, eroding trust and stability. Even in our workplaces too, we see employers sometimes changing conditions of service, making empty promises about promotions or benefits that never materialize. Over time, this type of manipulation can make employees feel trapped and undervalued, doubting their own worth and future with the organization. How to guard against gaslighting in such circumstance? Beloved, whether in family, marriage, or workplace, recognizing these signs of shifting promises or hidden agendas can help us guard against their effects. Clear communications and setting personal boundaries are key in ensuring we maintain clarity and a sense of self, even in challenging dynamics. Number 3, Delilah and Samson. Judges chapter 16. In this chapter of the Holy Bible, Delilah persistently questions Samson's love and loyalty, pressurizing him until he reveals the secret of his strength. Her manipulation ultimately leads to his downfall, showing how emotional pressure can have serious consequences. How does this mirror in our contemporary time? This type of manipulation is still common today, especially in close relationships. Take for instance, marriage. In marriages or relationship, one partner might use guilt-tripping ultimatums or repeated questioning to pressure the other into revealing personal information or making sacrifices, causing emotional strain and self-doubt. In friendships, similarly, a friend might manipulate another by implying that they aren't a true friend unless they share secrets or make certain sacrifices. These tactics can create an unhealthy dynamic, forcing one friend to constantly prove their loyalty. In dating and relationships, emotional manipulations can be especially prevalent in dating, where one partner can twist situations to make the other feel they must constantly prove their love or commitment. This can lead to a cycle of dependency and self-doubt. How to guard against gaslighting in such circumstances? Beloved, if you feel pressured or manipulated in a relationship, take a step back and reflect on your boundaries and self-worth. Emotional pressures often works by eroding a person's confidence and a sense of security. Building a strong sense of self and surrounding yourself with a support network can help you recognize and stand firm against manipulative tactics that compromise your emotional well-being. Number 4, the Pharisees accusing Jesus. St. Matthew's Gospel chapter 12, St. John's Gospel chapter 8. In the Gospels, the Pharisees frequently attempt to discredit Jesus by twisting his words and questioning his character. The accusations are aimed at casting doubt on his authority and isolating him from followers, a tactic that ultimately reveals the destructive power of false narratives. How does this mirror in our contemporary time? The Pharisees' actions reflect the brand of manipulative behaviors we often see today. Take for instance, in life, people may spread false narratives or rumors within a community, attempting to damage someone's reputation or isolating them from their peers. This kind of manipulation can create significant emotional distress and social damage. In friendship, sometimes friends use subtle criticism or insinuations to make others doubt a person's character. This small act of deception can lead to distrust and division within social circles, even without clear evidence. What about workplace? In professional settings, a colleague or rival might distort someone's intention or misrepresent their actions to undermine their credibility. By spreading misinformation, they may harm the individual's chances for promotion or weaken their standing within the organization. How to guard against gaslighting in such circumstances? Beloved, when facing accusations or rumors, it is important to remain grounded in truth and to document your actions and communications. Whenever possible, seek out trusted individuals who can offer objective perspectives and resist the urge to constantly defend yourself against baseless claims. Staying calm and consistent in the face of false narrative can often reveal the truth over time. Number 5, Job's friends. The book of Job. In the book of Job, we read that Job's friends accused him of sin, claiming that his suffering is a direct result of his wrongdoings. These unrelenting accusations causes Job to question his own innocence and even God's justice, adding emotional pain to his physical suffering. The story highlights how misguided words and judgments from others can lead to self-doubt and spiritual confusion. especially during times of hardship. How does this mirror in our contemporary time? The experience of Job with his friends resonates with modern-day manipulations in several times and in several ways. Take, for instance, in families. Has anyone in your family ever suggested to you that the misfortunes you currently face are a result of bad choices, implying that you are to be blamed? This can induce feelings of guilt and self-doubt, making a difficult situation even harder to bear. In some marriages, one partner may place the blame for financial struggles, personal challenges, or even emotional difficulties on the other, even when they are not at fault. This creates a circle of blame and erodes the trust between the couple, leaving one partner feeling inadequate and misunderstood. In friendships, friends can sometimes gaslight each other during tough times, suggesting that the individual's suffering is deserved or the result of poor character. Such manipulation depends on the pain, creating the stress and making it harder to process the challenges they are facing. How to guard against gaslighting in such circumstances? Beloved, it is essential to stay anchored in personal integrity and in the truth of your experiences. Reflect on your actions and motivations without letting others project their own judgment onto you. Seek support from people who uplift you, encourage your personal growth, and remind you of your worth, especially during challenging times. Understanding that suffering is not always a result of personal failure can help protect you from the damaging effects of gaslighting. Number 6. Joseph's brothers. Genesis chapter 37. Joseph's brothers in this chapter of the Bible deceived their father Jacob by making him believe that Joseph is dead. They manipulated the situation by presenting false evidence. Joseph's torn clothes stained with animal blood, leading Jacob to mourn his son's death. This deception not only manipulates Jacob's emotions, but also conceals the brothers' wrongdoing, keeping their secret hidden. The story illustrates how individuals can manipulate others with false information to avoid accountability and control the narrative in their favor. How does this mirror in our contemporary time? The manipulation of Joseph's father by his brothers is still prevalent today in various situations, like in families. In families, members sometimes withhold vital information or distort facts to control how others perceive a situation. This is often done to preserve a certain family image or avoid conflict. For example, a family member might cover up a relative's wrongdoing, fabricating a story to protect them, thereby manipulating the family's perception. At workplace, in professional settings, employees or managers may present misleading information to hide mistakes or failures, often to protect their own interests or avoid facing consequences. These manipulations can prevent accountability and create confusion as others are misled by the false narrative presented to them. In friendships, friendships can also be a breeding ground for gaslighting. They may distort situations and pretend that something bad never occurred, shifting blame onto someone else to protect their own reputation. This can lead to confusion and frustration as the manipulated person struggles to understand the true nature of the event. How to guard against gaslighting in such circumstances? Beloved, it is important to remain vigilant about the information you are presented with and seek truth in all situations. When something feels off, take time to reflect and ask questions, ensuring you understand the full context. Trust your instinct and surround yourself with people who are transparent and truthful, as they will help you maintain clarity and avoid falling victim to false narratives. In conclusion, Gaslighting is a subtle yet dangerous form of manipulation that has existed throughout history. As seen in these powerful biblical examples that I just illustrated, whether in relationship, workplace, or within families, it remains a tactic that erodes trust and self-confidence. By recognizing the signs of gaslighting and taking proactive steps to guard against it, we can protect our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Remember, the truth will always stand, and through awareness, clarity, and support, we can navigate life's challenges with strength and integrity. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. If you found this insight helpful, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe to the Sokipele YouTube channel. Your support allows us to keep creating more impactful content that help us all grow in wisdom and understanding. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any updates. Stay blessed and keep shining